Good afternoon, listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pinocchio speaking on August 24, 2025 of our Lord era. Today, at last, we dive into a subject I've been postponing for 5 years, Pinocchio. But be warned, don't expect a childish, sugar-coated reading. What we are about to explore is profound, layered, full of symbols, mysteries, and secret hidden in this seemingly innocent fable. And along the way, we'll cross paths with the myth of the Minotaur and the recurring image of the island. Okay, guys? Esoteric literature never speaks out of just one thing. Each work is a bundle of meanings, clues scattered to be debated for generations. Carlo Collodi, a Fiorentini connected to the Carbonari, knew this language well. The very name Pinocchio is an enigma. Pino means pine, but also a diminutive of Giuseppe, the same name as Geppetto, the carpenter creator, echo of Joseph, the carpenter, father of Jesus. Occhio means eye. Pinocchio, Pinocchio, Pinocchio. How do you pronounce in English? I guess it's Pinocchio. In Italian, we say Pinocchio, which means pine eye, wooden eye. There are too many layers of interpretation. In Tuscan dialect, Pinolo is the pine nut, a small seed round like a puppet's head. The character name I read carries the mystery. Wood that must learn to see, a gaze born blind that must awaken. Perhaps the third eye, the pineal gland. Do you know what I mean? Pineal gland. That gland, it's, we know, allow communication with the spiritual world. Pinocchio is born without conscience. He is a puppet that walks but cannot see, a NPC before the world existed. If humanity is asleep, the puppet is its metaphor, mass repeating patterns without spiritual sight. The initiation Collodi suggests is hard. When wood meets fire, it turns to coal under pressure, to diamond. Alchemy, solve et coagula. There is also the orphan archetype. You know what I mean? All the orphans like Batman, Superman, the X-Men, wander the origin that brings both weakness and potential transformation according to the trauma they had suffered once uh, in childhood. The puppet's training is green. Like circus animals tamed by hunger and humiliation, Pinocchio is molded by handlers. Stromboli, his name a living volcano, embodies the showmaster, the manipulator, who turns souls into entertainment. In truth, it's about us. How societies manufacture puppets ready to please, work, obey. Pre-actual this pre-update this fable. Claude's original 1883 book is dark, political, initiatory. Pinocchio is deceived, hanged from a tree, loses his feet, nearly dies. Its calamity is a test, a polishing. Disney's 1940 version softens everything. What was a rite of pain becomes light catechism. Just obey, be brave, tell the truth, and all is well. Yeah, the book's pretty different from the animation. The talking cricket. In the book, Pinocchio kills it with a hammer at the very beginning. Later, conscience returns not as external tutor, but as an inner law. In Disney, the cricket becomes Jiminy, a confessor-like figure. Fun fact, Jiminy Cricket began as a euphemism to avoid saying Jesus Christ in vain, a disguised blasphemy. The Blue Fairy in Disney, a sweet helper in the book, she first appears in a macabre hut filled with death, a Dantean descent, initiatory death before rebirth. She's archetype of Sophia, reading wisdom, mother, guide, initiator. The Land of Toys, The Pleasure Island, is one of the most striking episodes. Children live without rules, drink, smoke, fight, eat endless, no school, no responsibility. Slowly the trap closes. Donkey, ears, snout, laws of speech, regression, brutishness, a portrait of man's society, addiction, infinite dopamine, social media, compulsive consumption, sports as religion, bread and circles numbing the conscience. Collodi, as a Carbonaro, denounces alienation. Those who flee initiation turn into donkey. In the last years, we saw a scandal in Iceland with a Jew guy, a financial Jew guy, very famous. His first name was Jeffrey. Don't ask me to say his family name. He's pretty famous. And this guy got Iceland. It's very common, even in my country. We know a lot of artists or other peoples. It's something that happens in Earth for millennials. When you want to do things that society will not allow you, will not agree with you, and if you have to ride this deep inside, you have to find an island. Um, for example, you guys, everybody knows when there was that Bohemian Groove on the Woods, and that guy, I forgot his name right now, Alex Jones. He ride in the bushes and record the ceremony with that owl uh, deep in the forest. If that guys had an island, it would never be recorded by an outsider. So that's the reason people with too much power, the elites of the humanity, or they say they are the rulers, the handlers, they try to have islands. The growing nose is not where moralism about lying. It's ontology. The nose, axis of breath, spirit balance. When it grows, it distorts the face's center. Each lie deforms the being, throwing him back into puppethood. The initiatory trials don't take place in golden temples, but in daily life. Laziness, temptation, fear, repetition of the same errors. Collodi begins with a pine log in Geppetto's hands, raw matter. The carpenter is like the master shaping, giving form, breathing life. The wood resists. Pinocchio rebels, ends the suffering, burned feet, noose at the neck, humiliations, small symbolic deaths, polishing the matter until the initiate emerges. All secret societies work with that concept. The man, finally is the real philosopher's stone that must turn into gold. The climax is the descent into the whale's belly. Pinocchio, swallowed by a sea monster, finds Geppetto inside, an ancient archetype. Jonah, Hercules, Orpheus, Aeneas descends into the underworld before rebirth. The belly is both womb and tomb. In the dark night, Pinocchio finds himself because he finds the father. Egoism yields to sacrifice. He accepts saving someone beyond himself. They escape riding a tuna back to the light. The fish, in Christian traditions, symbolize Christ, the guide from darkness to life. After this, Pinocchio is no longer the same. He has worked, suffered, lied, fallen, learned, loved, sacrificed. The fairy returns and transforms him into flesh and bone. The wood disappears. The false nose vanishes. The donkey remains behind. The boy is born. The initiate arrives. Not just a happy ending. It is the map of the path. From raw love to enlightened being. From lie to truth. From egoism to love. From darkness to light. This map echoes another carved in myth. In Crete, under King Minos, lived the Minotaur, half man, half bull, locked in Daedalus' labyrinth at Knossos. As tribute, Athens sent 7 youths and 7 maidens at intervals. The flower of its youth on ships with black sails. The labyrinth consumed lives. The city paid a tax of flesh until Theseus, guided by Ariadne, tread, entered, faced, marked the way, slew the beast, returned. Will, technique, guidance. Pinocchio's world too is a labyrinth. Narrow corridors, false doors, mocking parrots, gorilla judges, selective pardons, promises of miracles in barren fields. Without thread, without cricket, only strings remain. And the island reappears, century after century, geographical isolation, easy surveillance, perfect stage for what cannot come to light. In the book, The Island of Bees, where one learns work but risks hive mind, and The Island of Pleasures, where children degrade. Outside the book, islands with other names, other stories. The pattern repeats: seduction, isolation, silence, discard. The island is not just geography, it's social engineering. Very interesting. Like communism, fascism, you work, and you arrive nowhere. There is never an end. You're just a be conscious. Together, Pinocchio and the Minotaur tell the same plot with different customs. The labyrinth is the word system, bureaucracies, narratives, false promise. The puppet's man without conscience, without cricket, without thread, without map. The Minotaur's structural hunger, owns black sails, now likes, contracts VIP invitations. The island is the ideal stage, far from lies, close to power. The thread is what reconciles with truth. Conscience, real study, discipline, faith, responsibility. Theseus is oriented courage. Ariadne, the wisdom that gives the path back. Geppetto, the origin to be rescued. The whale, the necessary night. The fairy, the seal of rebirth. The nose, the warning that lies the form first within. Disney turned the Via Crucis into light criticism, not false, just shallow. Collodi is harsh. Liberation costs dearly. It demands saying no to Privy Island, fleeing the theater of false miracles, rejecting fox and cat, stopping the inner killing of the cricket. It demands accepting losses, humiliations, and sometimes descending before rising. Is all this true? I leave it open. Some see Sophia in the fairy, others a seductive star. Some had the tuna as a Pascal symbol, others just literary coincidence. Some view the labyrinth as a spiritual metaphor, others as social commentary. Interpretation remains open. Perhaps that is the strength of this material. Still, it useful. A thread for our time may be woven in 5 strands. Reinstall conscience, the cricket. Cut lies at the root, short nose, long life. Real study, alphabet in hand. Purpose work. No hive, no circles. Oriented courage. Thread plus step plus sword. And yes, there will be whales. Sometimes that is where we find the follower. In the end, Pinocchio is not just about a puppet who became a boy. It is about a world that insists on staying a puppet. The Minotaur is not just an ancient monster, it is the name we give, from time to systems that devour youth. The island of yesterday and today are stations of the same train, promising freedom, delivering cut the threads. The way out? Perhaps simple, not easy. Thread in hand, cricket on the shoulder, spine upright. If you've understood, you've already taken the first step out of the labyrinth. And when someone asks why you insist on studying, working with purpose, telling the truth, resisting the island, you can answer with the serenity of one who has seen inside. I know the difference between a stage and an exit. Let's cut the strings, guys. Thank you for listening. See you in next. Bye bye. I know we